Notice to the public, if you wish to address the council, please complete the public wishing to address the council form located on either end of the counter and give it to either the chairman or the council clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. All comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing individual council members or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words and actions, and comments shall be limited to the issue and cannot involve individual or staff-related matters. All cell phones and electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of the meeting. I'd like to call the Terrebonne Parish Council Budget and Finance Committee to order. I do the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening asking for guidance, for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding where we may be able to serve the people of Terrebonne Parish. Bless this great nation, this state, and this parish of Terrebonne. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Charlie, can we get a roll call, please?
Mr. Champagne, Mr. Hamner, Mr. Babin, Ms. Chauvin, Mr. Trustclair, Mr. Pledger, Mr. Harding, Mr. Voisin, Mr. Amity. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thanks, Mr. Charlie. Item number 1, resolution authorizing the parish president and/or his designee to execute a subrecipient agreement for funding through Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery CDBG DR funds between Fletcher Technical Community College and Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, TPCG. Move Mr. Danny Babin. Second, Mr. John Amity. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion passes. Item number 2, resolution providing for the submission of individual ordinances for proposed budget amendments. Move Mr. Steve Trostclair, second Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion passes. Mr. Danny Babin.
So with this resolution, as of our next set of meetings, it should be changed at that point, correct?
Correct.
Okay, sounds good.
Miss Candace?
Yes, sir. Can you tell us exactly what you all are expecting of us?
Okay. After a lot of review, we kind of had this discussion before, and it's the individual agenda items when it comes to the budget amendments. We want to break those out to be individual budgetary items versus lumping them together like 3, 1 through 8. We would do 3-1, then we would do
So
number
it would,
2, number
it
3.
would be
we would-
8 individual agenda items.
Correct.
So that adds a lot of time and a lot of work. And with the agenda deadlines on the Thursday at 10 o'clock, I don't know that we're going to be able to do all of them separate.
Okay. Now, as far as work, this is more of a procedural deal where if we're breaking them out individually, I don't see where that would be.
Because each individual ordinance has to be written completely separate to only reference that one and have that backup. And each individual one with the executive summary, the ordinance, and the backup all need to be uploaded onto the agenda.
Right. And based on our discussions, we feel this would be necessary so that we can give the due diligence and make informed decisions on each one of them.
We will try to meet the deadline.
Thank you. Mr. Harding?
Yes, she's mentioning the time frame in reference to the 5-year capital outlay, and basically we're 1 week ahead of time, and maybe 1 day different in reference to this. That we can actually okay that and have the rest of the items be handled differently. Would 1 more day help you out?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Mr. Pleasure. Yes, sir.
Okay. then.
If we could hold the agenda open to allow budget amendments to be put on until the Friday. Is that what you were asking of me?
Yeah, I'm asking you how much time you're looking for, because we've actually been up here. There have been times when we may want to actually discuss an item, and then we may want to hold one particular item for 2 weeks, but then the rest of the items are being held hostage, uh, and to be pushed back for 2 more weeks. So we can probably
I,
could work
So
with
I
that.
don't think we can wait until the Friday agenda deadline because you have to have it published.
Right.
Um,
right, for the
the
Monday
Monday.
meeting. Yeah, that's why I was gonna
Thursday.
lean on staff for that with, as for, or Michelle, I'm sorry, with the deadline to adhere to the deadline is the,
Well, we can ask that question to our council clerk and see whether they're able to accommodate the changes that we are making.
well, they're able to accommodate.
Yeah.
They are. It's just what I'm addressing what you mentioned as relates to the extension. I think that's a law there where we have to adhere to that law, right, Miss Triggs? Yes, published. Yeah. So yeah.
So it has to be, well, no, for, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harding. Mr. Voisin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I'm just curious as procedurally for Ms. Malden. I mean, when's the soonest you start on this? You got a specific time before you can even or have this done? Is there a
It
specific
just
time?
depends, Mr. Voisin. Like, there's sometimes that we know, like I know now what I'm gonna put for 2 weeks. Sometimes I don't know until that morning.
Okay.
So it really just kind of depends. It's gonna be a lot more time to do them completely separate. Um, but I mean, we'll do our best. We'll try to figure out, because I mean, the ones that we know ahead of time, obviously we can put those up now for 2 weeks from now. But sometimes I don't know, and I may have 5 of them that come in at 8 o'clock on Thursday morning that we have to start putting together. That's the only, we don't know sometimes when grants require us to have stuff submitted and timing. There's just a lot that plays into that.
Yes, ma'am.
But we can add some sooner rather than later. It's a time crunch.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ms. Neal?
I just wanted to also bring up that, remember, on Mondays, when these ordinances get introduced into the council for public hearing, the council has an opportunity to amend at that time as well. So if there's any amendments that need to be made before you get to the public hearing, you can do that at the time that they're introduced on a Monday committee. Just offering additional courses of action if you need it.
Gotcha. Thank you. Mr. Babin, you had a light there?
Yeah, let me.
Go ahead.
I think the whole rationale behind this was like we talked about before, and we talked about this in past councils, that we did not want to jeopardize, if there's 8 items tonight, we didn't want to jeopardize 7 of them over one that we may have had a question on. Not realizing how much extra work it would put you on. It is, if we get to a point where we holding up government by doing this, then we're gonna have to take another look at it as a council, all right? To see if we need to go back to the way it was, or group some together, or just some other alternative than what this is gonna be. I didn't realize that, because we're not in the day-to-day operations of government, that you may get 3 or 4 of them that morning, okay? That's not something that I was aware of. So in any event, I mean, nothing is etched in stone. If this does not work and it creates a problem for this government to operate, we can always readdress it. All right?
Thank you, Mr. Babin.
No.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Pledger. Mr. Babin, I think as long as we all are, willing to go back to the drawing board if it just becomes too much. And look, sometimes we might get them all in on the Monday before, and then sometimes we might, it just kind of depends. So, if it's kind of last minute, and if y'all can give me this discretion too, if I get 3 or 4 in last minute, it's gonna be too much time to beat the deadline. If I can call budget and finance chair and say, hey, I have these 3 that I just got this morning that I need to get them in, are you okay with me putting them all on one? We can kind of do that as well. I think we could figure something out. It's just, it is a lot more, but we'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
it's not intended to be, burdensome on you guys, but at the same time, I think like going into our next item here, I'll be able to explain a little bit
Yes,
more
sir.
to give us an example of,
So,
we have to make sure we're
Yeah.
doing what we have to do and working through making sure it's being handled
So
properly.
one thing that Michelle did just say, so I just want to make sure that we know this. So I know that it has come up in the past when it's at public hearing and we're adopting it, that it all has to be adopted as one, because we've called it for public hearing and we've published it all as one. But if there is something on a committee meeting tonight as a budget amendment that you don't want to put it to public hearing, we could amend that ordinance tonight, because what's public and what's voted on has been published and corrected as well. I do understand it's easier if they're all separate, but that is an option too.
Gotcha. Thanks, Michelle, for that. All right. No further discussion on that. Item number 3, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget for the following items. Item number 1, Office of Emergency Preparedness, $3,564. Item number 2, Houma Police Department, $23,378. Item number 3, Houma Police Department, $623. Item number 4, Houma Police Department, $23,239. Item number 5, Houma Fire Department, $5,536. Item number 6, FTA, City of Thibodaux, $136,992. Item number 7, CDBG DR, Support the Seafood Industry Phase 1, $1.5 million. Item number 8, CDBG DR, Small Business Grants, $3 million, and call a public hearing on said matter on September 24th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Move Mr. Danny Babin. Second, Mr. Kevin Champon. Mr. Voisin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On item 8, in reference to small business grants, $3 million. So I was looking at the breakdown of funds. 2.6 is actually what's gonna be allocated to small businesses, correct? 5,000 for environmental review, correct? 175,000 for grant management, correct? And 220,000 for other, which it says sub-recipient program implementation. What is that?
I'm sorry.
Thank you. So the other subrecipient implementation is we are planning, when we're running this program, to go through either TITA and or South Central Planning to help with the actual management of the grant applications in and the grant funding going out. So that would pay whoever that party is that we have a subrecipient agreement with in order to fulfill the program. And the other grant management is part of our consultant with helping us make sure it meets all the CDBG requirements and stuff like that.
And did I read where it was like 50,000 per business, or is that just a cap, or what is that?
So that was part of our application that we put in. That might be the minimum amount. Now that we have the award from the state and the money's been approved, we're gonna work through setting up those program guidelines in order to actually put them in place. So nothing's etched in stone 100% just yet. We have to still put the program together.
So who is the grant manager of this 100?
That is our consultant, CSRS.
CSRS.
Mhm.
Okay. And what is their function?
So they're the ones that helped us with all of our CDBG DR applications. They're the ones that are helping us with all of the environmental review. And they're the ones that are helping that as we go through and implement all of these projects and our programs, that we are still following the DR requirements.
And how do businesses qualify?
We don't know that yet. That'll be part of those program guidelines that we need to put together.
Okay. So we looking, what, 300 and, what, $95,000 going to outside consultants and entities out of that money? Am I,
Yes,
is my
sir.
mathematics correct on that?
Yes, sir. That's how all of the programs will work. All of the consultants, and if it's not one that we run through us, we'll have a subrecipient that receives those fundings. Yes, sir.
And in reference to the seafood, why no recipient on that one? Just a grant manager on that one versus this one?
Because I believe that we had a better idea with the seafood grants, that it won't be as many requirements, as many applications. So it'll be kind of easier to just flow through how we already have it and or with CSRS as part of that plan.
Yeah, and my issue is not with the dollars going where they're going. Obviously, great deal. My issue is voting for something for this much money that goes to a very worthy area of our community, both of them. And I don't know any other process. I don't know anything about it, and neither do you at this point.
I don't, no, sir.
Yeah, so
It's part of the application. The applications have already been approved. The state's approved it. It meets all of the requirements. So this is just us actually recognizing that revenue and that expenditure so that we can start that process.
understood. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Voisin, Ms. Candace, Mr. Bergeron.
Yeah, so, this is just like the other, 29, 20, other projects that we're dealing with, where we could really make a difference is how we work with the residents and the businesses of Terrebonne Parish to get the funding where it needs to go. And a good example on the small business grants, working through an organization like TITA, is that they can help identify the pain that these businesses have been dealing with or the assistance that they need to make sure that the money goes to actually help them grow or expand their business and not put the funding towards something that would not be used, or where they say they need it for this, but really need it for that, and that the money would be wasted. So definitely a little more involved, with the small business grants, with support the seafood industry phase one. Those are ones that have drug on as long as they have because of the way of OCD trying to figure out they can do this, they can't do that. We've never done it this way, and so that's why you see in these last few trickle through. Where at first they told us that we had to do a study on the support to seafood, and now they're saying, well, we could also do some funding prior to that study. So this is an opportunity to get some money in the hands of businesses where 4 years after Ida, it's way too late. Businesses that probably needed this might not be a business anymore, but just trying to do what we can to help our businesses and residents recover still 4 years after Ida with the issues they deal with, insurance and everything else. So that's why we want to get TITA definitely involved with South Central Planning to make sure businesses that need the money get the money and get to use it for what they really need to use it for with their business.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bergeron. Mr. Hamner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Candace, you mentioned our consultant CSRS, and are they going to be the ones to help you or us as to write those guidelines you referred to?
Absolutely.
And make sure that's good.
Absolutely. They'll be the ones that help us. So we won't even go to South Central Planning or TITA until we have those guidelines. So that way they'll implement the program that we create.
They'll implement and they'll write those guidelines as an independent consultant and make sure we're following all the rules of CDBG-DR.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you for clarifying that for me. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Hamner. I have a couple questions for you as well, Candace. Now, as I read through this, and this goes both for seafood industry phase one, the $1.5 million, and also the um, small business grants. Now, as you lay it out in the backup, I'm seeing that, there's different, I guess, phases you would call it, or descriptions of what we got. One would be problem definition. And I see a note here, or part of the verbiage, it says that TPCG will partner with South Central Planning and Development Commission to administer the grant program. So I'm assuming, based on Mr. Voisin's question, when it comes to the funding, they will, South Central Planning will be the grant management for 175, or am I missing that? Go ahead.
No, sir. South Central Planning would be that subrecipient line.
Okay,
The
so,
grant management is CSRS.
all right, now we understand, and I guess that's a little clearer. So South Central Planning will be doing the subrecipient program implementation after you've developed it with
Yes, sir.
with CSRS. Okay, now we're going to be giving out grants to small businesses and also to the fishermen and the shrimping industry. Can someone explain to me what's an environmental review for that to give out funds?
I would love to, but unfortunately, it's something that the state requires us to do, and I don't really know that I fully understand it either, but I can get you a definition on that one.
So you need a review to give out grass. Okay,
Yes, sir.
green. I'm. Yeah, absolutely, Miss Kelly.
Kelly Varnado, Director of Housing and Human Services. For every dollar of federal money that you spend, you have to do an environmental determination. It could be plain administration up to a construction project. And based on what you're doing is a higher level of review. So construction, of course, would affect the environment a lot more than just spending money, administration-wise.
Thanks for that clarity.
Does that help?
It does, somewhat. It helps. It helps. It helps.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and also, when it comes to the, working with, CSRS is gonna develop the, I guess, the guidelines for this. And South Central Planning, they would be the ones implementing this. Now, I see that with, the business grants, we've sort of had a number there, a magical number so far, 52 businesses at $50,000 apiece, right? And also with the shrimping industry, I think it's 12 or 14 that are going to be LMI required, and the other 12, which is 26 total, that don't have to be low to moderate income. My question there is, with both of those, and I do understand that with the shrimping industry, this is just phase one of the bigger picture there to help those folks. How did we come up with the number of, for instance, 52 as far as the small businesses are concerned? Because my concern there is, I understand, unless it's a requirement that we give each business 52 or 50,000 to equal 52 businesses, how about 25,000 for 104 businesses? I'm just looking at it from a, reach, how many people can we actually impact or be able to help? Go ahead, Candace, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. So I don't think we need to get hung up too much on the numbers here. I think that 52,000 was an example in our application to the state to show, hey, this is what we would like to do. Once we create the program guidelines and all, the state has to approve that as well. So if that would change based on what we decide to do, that would be okay as well. There will be a certain percentage of all grants, and it may not have specifically said it in the application, for both the support the seafood and the small business that will go to low to moderate income, either individuals or businesses as well. So all of those requirements will have to be thought of as when we do the applications and all.
Okay, and again, I appreciate that, clarifying that. And I'm just looking at it from a maximizing the funds that we have in order to be able to help as many people as we are in entities as we can. CSRS, they're going to be developing the plan, and I'm sure that we will be intricately involved in that process too as well. And we keep at the forefront of trying to, be able to help as many people
Yes, sir.
as we can. That's the biggest thing. I want to stress the dollar, and I don't have a problem with myself being involved, and I'm sure these other 8 council members up here, or 7 that's up here, don't mind, having a seat at the table with that, because we want to try to help as many people in our districts as we can. Mr. Trosclair.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. My question is, early in conversation, several times it was mentioned that either TITA or South Central Plan will be the subrecipient
Yes, sir.
managers, okay, program managers. And then in the backup, it says South Central Planning.
So
Which is it?
yes, sir. So the plan is South Central Planning would be the one that actually is the subrecipient, and TITA would be a part of their program to implement it to help with those needs that Parish President had just talked about.
So maybe we should.
They would
label-
work in
We should
conjunction.
label it South Central Planning and TITA.
It will be
Or-
laid out in the subrecipient agreement whenever it is signed,
Okay, thank
which
you.
will have to come to you to approve anyway.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Trosclair. Mr. Champagne?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I guess I also want to know, so when these programs are developed, is there a formal process of who's actually sitting at the table? Have y'all decided, who decides that, the administration, and how are y'all going to invite people or to give input, or, just as Brian said, are we going to have an array of 50,000, 10 50,000s and 20 25,000, who's going to be able to have some input or maybe some ideas that's different from, just a different mindset? So that's what my question is.
So, and this is something I dealt with TITA in the past, with an LED grant that they had. They reached out and said, hey, look, we can provide services that range from anything from accounting, business management, legal, digital, marketing, across the board. And it's kind of that same services as we look at the stuff the business incubator can do. That's one way to help businesses. We got some small business grants, could be another way to help businesses. And so, again, what I really like about the process of getting TITA involved is, we're going to send something out that says, look, if you're a small business defined by years of service, dollar revenue, and you're looking for assistance to help grow your business, come apply for this. And with that process, some level of maybe a business plan. And again, identifying, what is your biggest pain? Somebody's gonna come to you and say, I want to get the word out, and I want to get more marketing. Or so we need a logo, we need branding, we need social media, we need a website, or I want to be better at accounting. And so we're gonna get you some QuickBooks classes and maybe get you like a mentor through accounting stuff. So I think going through that process can help identify what those requirements or what those needs are, and then make sure that we get that funding directly to those needs.
And I guess that's what my question is. I want your step. My question is, the step before the actual application's out, that we're creating a program that's gonna hit the needs of the people who are actually on the ground, that has the needs, instead of, maybe we did 10 grant applications for $50,000 and no one applies for them because it doesn't meet their needs. And so I want to ensure that as we're developing the programs and the grant applications, that there are, a wide variety of people, even business owners, that have some input and said, this, if you're developing a program, this is what I really need. And I just want to ensure that we're doing that and not creating a program that really doesn't hit anybody.
Yeah, we've had a history
makes
working with the
sense,
chambers, working with the CIA, and then with CSRS and their experience of what they've done with this kind of stuff in the past also, to help us tailor it and make sure we don't want to be sitting on money. We want to give all this money away. We want to increase the profitability and the size of businesses in our region, in our parish. So, to make sure we get it to the right people and it gets done the right way is I think is paramount.
So just to Parish President just kind of said what I'd put my light on to say. We don't want to hold on to this money. I don't want to have to give it back. Remember, we have until November 2027. So we're going to do our best to get as much money out as quick as possible. I'd rather get it out the door and not have to worry about it and not have to report to the state every quarter, every month, and all of that. So that is the intent of all of it, is to get it out as quick as possible.
Ms. Bajon, Ms. Candace, Mr. Harding?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Mr. Pleasure and Mr. Champagne. I think a few years back, there was a class given at Fletcher, and some of the qualifications that for these loans, they exceeded a lot of people that I knew that were small business people. You had to have maybe 100 employees, having so many dollars, but then there are a lot of smaller people, operations and stuff like that. They're not going to be able to benefit if the bar is so high. So I think if we broaden it out a little bit, we can reach more people. The other thing that I want to make mention in there is the fact that it's a great discussion that we actually having, and kind of proves the point for us to go rather in depth with individual items here. And we have to put forth the effort, and we actually have until September 24th, 2025 to actually take care of the business and ask more questions. But once we finish this, the question would be to the Ms. Neal, would be that you stated earlier, once we pass this here, we have to accept all of them in the next public hearing. I want everyone to be aware of that also. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. And I guess we all have valid points when it comes to administering that, but I just have to say this and we'll move forward. But I don't want to, when it comes to the seafood industry and when it also comes to small business, what I or the rest of you guys might consider a small business, the small business doesn't consider it a small business, if that makes sense. But especially with the seafood industry, you guys know as well as I know, and my colleague to my right here, she knows very well, there's a lot of guys out there with skiffs and stuff like that, that those are the folks that I really want to help. I mean, that's where it matters the most, those folks. Or somebody with a t-shirt shop in their house or something. That's a jump start for a small business, I feel. Brick and mortar's fine, but you're already there. A little help, a little aid would be okay. But it's those guys that need that jump start to actually maybe get to brick and mortar. So with that being said, we'll vote our machines. Members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item number 4, consider the introduction of an ordinance to authorize the issuance of a non-exceeding $25 million of public improvement sales tax revenue bonds in one or more series of the Parish of Terrebonne, State of Louisiana, prescribing the form, terms, and conditions of such bonds, providing for the refunding of certain outstanding bonds, and providing for other matters in connection therewith, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, September 24th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Moved Mr. John Amity. Second, Mr. Kevin Charles Champagne. Mr. Steve Trosclair, got a light?
Yes, I have a question. On the backup, on the ordinance, on the proposition, it says, shall the parish of Terrebonne, State of Louisiana, under the provision of Act Number 500, regular session, Louisiana Legislature of Louisiana for year 1964, and other constitutional statutory authority supplemental thereto, be authorized to levy and collect a tax of 1%. So that's not part of what you're trying to do with this. Okay, so explain it to me.
So that is not what we're trying to do. We are not implementing an additional tax. That is just part of the law that allows us to be able to do the bonds. So if we needed to issue a tax to pay off the bonds, we could. That is not what's happening here. We are not going for an increase in any tax or anything.
At this point.
Correct.
But this
Related to this bond. So we cannot do that no matter what. We still have to go to the vote of the people, even if we wanted to do that. That
Okay.
is not what's happening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Candace. Mr. Trustclair. Seeing no further lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Motion adjourned, Mr. Amity, second by Ms. Kim Chauvin. Members, vote your machines. Motion passes 7-0. We're adjourned. Good evening.
Your phone. Notice to the public, if you wish to address the council, please complete the public wishing to address the council form located on either end of the counter and give it to either the chairman or the council clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. All comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing individual council members or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words and actions, and comments shall be limited to the issue and cannot involve individuals or staff-related matters. All cell phones and electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of the meeting. Thank you. I'd like to call to the Community Development and Planning Committee to order. Mr. John Amade will do the invocation, and I'll do the pledge.
Heavenly Father, we ask that you guide us through this meeting so that it can be productive and satisfy the needs that need to be met. Lord, strengthen us as we make the tough decisions and let us be both effective and decisive. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Charlie, can we get a roll call, please?
Mr. Champagne, Mr. Hamner, Mr. Babin, Ms. Chauvin,
Here.
Mr. Trustclair, Mr. Pledger, Mr. Harding, Mr. Voisin, Mr. Amity. Madam Chairwoman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you, ma'am. Number one, resolution authorizing the parish president to execute a new agreement for professional consulting services on behalf of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government with Trinity Consultants Incorporated for environmental consulting. Moved by Mr. Amade. Second by Mr. Champagne. Mr. Wazin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was just curious, why was Trinity Consultants chosen for this particular environmental consulting?
Hey, this is Ernest Brown, Utilities Director, the 301 Plant Road. Trinity has been our consultant for the power plant for years. We've comfortable with them, and they've helped us out in the past.
Thank you so much.
You done, Mr. Wazin?
One more question. The price list that are in the backup, is that the same prices y'all are currently paying for their services? You know that? Okay, thank you. Thank
Is
you.
that all, sir?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Seeing no more lights, vote your machines, please. 8 yeas. Resolution passes. Number two, authorizing, oh, it's yours. Sorry. Authorizing the parish president to execute the First Amendment to the Cooperative Endeavor Agreement between the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government and the Terrebonne Council on Aging. Moved by Mr. Amade. Second by Mr. Harding. Mr. Harding.
Yeah, Ms. Cunningham, please. Ronaldo, I'm sorry. Actually, this is good news that we're actually partnering with the Council on Aging, and it's my understanding a certain amount of houses is being taken care of in this parish. And how this makeup and this marriage between Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government and Council on Aging benefiting the members of the public in our housing shortage.
Kelly Varnado, Housing and Human Services Director. We are currently managing 25 vouchers for the Council on Aging. They fund the vouchers and they pay us an administration fee. And they just recently decided that they wanted to provide housing for more low-income elderly in the parish. So now it will be 100 vouchers that will be issued to low-income elderly people in Terrebonne Parish.
And you know how soon this would actually take place? Shortly after this is taken care of.
As soon as the parish president signs the amendment, we are ready to go.
That's a good news for at least 75 more people that we can actually have vouchers for. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay. Seeing no lights, vote your machines. 9 yeas. Motion passes. Resolution to loan home investment partnerships program funds to Start Corporation in an amount not to exceed $160,000 for the permanent financing of an affordable residential duplex unit located at 440 Magnolia Street, Houma, Louisiana. Moved by Mr. Amadei. Second by Mr. Champagne. Mr. Harding.
Yeah, Miss Candace. This is a tutor program, right?
Ho-
Oh, who is? That's you again? All right. Dealing with money. I always think of you first. Okay, Ms. Bernardo, this is a tutor program, and the Star Corporation, I know they're actually expanding themselves and stuff like that. Are there any other tutor programs that Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government is actually dealing with other than someone like Star?
Kelly Varnado, Housing and Human Services Director. So for everyone to understand, CHODO is a community housing development organization. Through our Home Investment Partnership grant, we are required to spend 15% of our grant to affordable housing through one of these organizations. At this time, Start Corporation is the only CHODO that we have, that we're working with. We do have an application process, but I do tell, nonprofits when they do contact me, is that the funds are limited, but they are welcome to apply to become a community housing development organization.
Yeah, and I think there's another organization that's similar to this with the tutor program, Option for Independence. Is the difference there?
So Options for Independence is no longer in existence, and now they are under, I'm sorry, Mr. Champagne can help me out with this. The McDonald's Children's Center.
Okay, and that's what I was
Merged.
trying to, basically the same makeup then, you know what I mean? And then we have a lot of properties that we may actually also be able to partner with Start Corporation and other people that may acquire the necessary qualification to have tutos.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, seeing no lights, vote your machines. Nine yeas, resolution passes. Number 4, resolution giving notice of intent to adopt an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the parish of Terrebonne so as to rezone from R1, single-family residential, to R2, two-family residential, 127 Samuel Street, Houma, Louisiana. Iona L. Brown, applicant, and calling a public hearing on said matter for Wednesday, October 15th, 2025, at 6:30 p.m. Moved by Mr. Pledger. Second by Mr. Babin. Seeing no lights, vote your machines. Nine yeas. Resolution passes. Motion adjourned by Mr. Babin, seconded by Mr. Pledger. Vote your machines. Thank you. And we are adjourned. Oh, shoot, that is my chair. Oh, I can give you my chair.
Oh, we gotta drag that chair. Yeah, hey, I think it's on the end down there.
I gotta let you use mine. I could have just.
It ought to be nice and comfy. All right. Notice to the public. If you wish to address the council, please complete the public wishing to address the council form located on either end of the counter and give it to either the chairman or the council clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. All comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing of individual council members or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words and actions, and comments shall be limited to the issue and cannot involve individuals or staff-related matters. All cell phones and electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of the meeting. Thank you. Call the Public Service Committee meeting to order. Invocation and pledge by Mr. Trusclair.
Loving and gracious God, help us keep the common good before us. Strengthen our gifts of wisdom, courage, and respect for the views of others. Strengthen us to continue to work with our leaders, seeking an ever more just society that acts in harmony and interdependence with all creation. In the name of Jesus, in union with their spirit, we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Charlie, roll call, please.
Mr. Champagne, Mr. Hamner, Mr. Babin, Ms. Chauvin, Mr. Trustclair, Mr. Pledger, Mr. Harding, Mr. Voisin, Mr. Amity. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you, Ms. Charlie. Order of business, one, resolution authorizing the execution of order number one to the agreement for contractor services with Gridco, Inc. for the 115 kilovolt transmission line improvements phase 2, project number 22-ELT-24. Moved by Mr. Babbins, second by Mr. Champagne. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. 9-0, motion passes. 2, resolution ratifying the appointment of David A. Waits Engineering and Surveying Incorporated to provide professional engineering service for the replacement of existing gas main lines, project known as Southdown Subdivision Gas Line Improvements, Phase 1, project number 25-gas-22. Moved by Mr. Hamner, second by Mr. Babin. Seeing no lights. Mr. Babin.
Yeah, how far are we along on this, this gas project? The Southdown, well, Ernest.
Well, I just said, this is a new project.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I wasn't
Yeah,
quite
it's a
sure.
new project from,
Yeah, give us it up on the old one if you don't mind, Ernest. Thank you.
Okay, so Ernest Brown, Director of Utilities. The last project, Highway 311 and Shade Drive is almost completed. They're working on their punch list items, dressing up the yards and making sure everything is good. So we should be completed within the next 2 weeks.
Good, so the people in that area will know.
Yes,
Good.
yes.
That's Summer Clyde and my district. Wait, and then just give us a quick on this one.
This is another project that, working with our consultant, David Waits, he identified this area that had low pressure during the storm. So we're going to be working, this is part of, the overall project of providing, extra gas, pressure to these areas. And this is another project that we have identified.
So in this particular area, we had basically three things. The one that's just about complete, this one, and then the upgrading of the stations.
Yes, and we plan to have 2 more small projects, in 2026 that we're looking at.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ernie.
And that was gonna be my question.
One second. Mr. Badron, did you want to speak again? Okay. Mr.
No, I was
Hamner.
just gonna, that was gonna be my question, and I can just speak for the people in Southdown subdivision. They are so grateful that this is gonna be done, and I wanna thank your department and administration for, seeing to it that it gets done. That's all. You had already answered my question.
Mr. Badron.
yeah, and I just wanted to add that, on the project that's ongoing, we still have the 2 booster stations that we need to upgrade that we're expecting to have done by the end of the year. So I know some people have already seen some remedy of the gas line issues, but that's going to be the final thing that really makes it where it needs to be.
Mr.
We have
Babbitt.
already allocated all the money for the pump stations, because that's something that's on Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, even though it's, what is it, intact? Link, excuse me, right. Thank you.
Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. 9-0, motion passes. 3, resolution authorizing applications to apply for the FY25 Delta Regional Authority DRA grant applications. Moved by Mr. Harding, second by Mr. Hamner. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. 9-0, motion passes. 4, resolution authorizing the parish president and his designee, the chief administrative officer, the executive, to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, Terrebonne Economic Development Foundation, and HMSE LLC, and to provide for related matters. Moved by Mr. Hamner. Second by Mr. Amity. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Members vote your machines. 9-0, motion passes. 5, a motion to dissolve the Employee Relations Focus Team as created by the Community Development and Planning Committee on July 14, 2025, and subsequently ratified by the Parish Council on July 16, 2025. Moved by Mr. Trosclair, second by Mr. Harding. Ms. Chauvin.
When we did this, we all voted unanimously in favor of creating a task force to handle the issues that were arising out of the investigation. We met in executive session, that we had our findings. We discussed the session strategies and cooperation for handling it. This pretty much undermines the work that's already done and sends the wrong message that we are not committed to addressing the concerns. And some of it was as simple as getting job descriptions that were last updated 10 years ago. I guess I'm wondering who's going to take that on at this point. The task force was meant to strengthen operations. It had directives. So are we just going to put this all by the wayside?
Thank you, Ms. Chauvin. Mr. Amity.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As Ms. Chauvin said, the council was created, task force was created by the council by a vote of 9-0. And I believe that Chairman Harding best explained why the task force was created when he responded in an email to one of the tasks being carried out, and I quote, he said, "The task force was to remedy issues and handle employee relation issues between council employees and administrative employees, as well as to resolve questions or disputes as to how various operational items should be handled, and to have the authority to implement its directives," end quote. There were also a couple of things outlined in relation to the investigation that it was supposed to do, and unfortunately, some people got mad because of one of the tasks and decided that they now want to do away with the task force. I believe the task force was created in such a way to keep politics out of it, but as usual, some people just don't want to be told what to do, even when it benefits them. I also believe we have a tail wagging the dog situation where certain staff members want to do only what they want to do. And like many of you, I wake up every day. I go to work and I do things that I particularly don't want to do, but it's my job to do them, so we do them. So I just want to ask my colleagues to vote in such a way on this matter to let this task force finish the work that it was directed to do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Amity. Mr. Harding.
Good evening. In my opinion, prior to all of this, that it was the council's responsibility for the task at hand. It took several attempts to rectify the problem in-house, whereas the people of Terrebonne Parish can really realize we can handle things without ironing out our dirty laundry. I was actually against a number of things, but to represent all people of Terrebonne Parish, to have the diversity of this particular council and the voices to be heard, whether it be in public or in private. The opportunities to go back and settle the matters, because I still have some of the information that we could actually collectively go in the back and not be so combative out in front of the people. So whether it be a disgruntled employee, whether it be someone within Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, me, Councilman Carl Harding, would represent the rights of all people. And I actually am appalled at the opportunities that we had to go in the back and settle this. And because of that, the battle of not going there because of certain fears to get rid of things, him reading, Mr. Amadi, you're absolutely correct. That was my personal feelings about that. I wanted to go to the back so the people of this parish won't see us like Keystone cops that can't get along together. I will protect the rights for every employee here. I have said it time and time again. If a person in Terrebonne Parish does not do their job, they should be dismissed. If someone's rights are offended or taken away from them, and it finds that after spending a whole bunch of money, if there is something found legitimately wrong, then that person should be handled. And that could have been discussed in executive session, and I won't be at this point right now on the edge of saying everything out in the public what should be said. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Mr. Babin?
Yeah, executive sessions are designed for us to go in the back with an attorney, so we don't break any rules, and discuss things so we don't have to discuss them out here. If you remember correctly, Mr. Harding, the time you put it up, that there was an opportunity 2 or 3 times prior to that, before going to executive session, that this could have been handled, but it was not. But why we did not go in executive session the first time is because a number of people did not want to go in without legal representation. So let's make sure that everybody in the public that's listening understands that we were willing to go. I've never been in an executive session in the 10 years I've been on this council that we did not have legal representation. So we could go in the back, and I think Mr. Hamidi said it best. We went in the back, we discussed it, we came out here and unanimously voted to create this committee. And the committee is doing good work, but now all of a sudden, we want to take it out. I'd like to hear Mr. Trosclair's reason for putting this on there, if he's so willing.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. Mr. Harding?
Again, Mr. Babin, going in the back, I can handle it either back there or up here. But, for the sake of peace, this is what the deal is. We went from one allegation, regardless of what the allegation really was, the task force come up with a number of other things. I did not agree with someone else handling that, someone that I was under the responsibility of being that supervisor. The point being that we were not allowed the opportunity, the 9 of us up here, to take care of our own employee. So we spent a lot of money going back there and coming back with something totally different. So the reason why we wanted to go back there to settle matters, because the task force, what it was assigned to do, in my opinion, were overstepping their boundaries because they were supposed to handle the business, and what we unanimously came back here to understand the findings and basically people of Terrebonne Parish, how we can come together and have resolve. That was the issue. I refuse to actually be always dictated to or always accused of being offensive when the rights of the people, all the people, are being infringed upon. At the end of the day, let the courts handle it if it had to be a court matter. But then at this time right now, if somebody tell me some findings that was done wrong, whether in public or in private, and then we can actually take action upon that. Other than that, I think it's our business as a council to handle that. And we're not gonna follow no recommendations by somebody else's opinion. And whether you want to go back in with council or without council, it's still, when we come back here, we cast your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Mr. Amity.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Being a member of the task force, I can tell you that we're following to the letter what we were told to do. I encouraged everybody to go to Ms. Neal's office and reread it because apparently some people forgot what it said, yet no one did. So don't accuse the team of doing something that it didn't have the authority to do. It said to do certain things, and it did those certain things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amity. Mr. Babbitt.
Yeah, that was my statement, because I'm not on the committee. I think the committee is involved, what, Mr. Noah Lerat, Ms. Candace Malden? No, Crystal Tipton, excuse me, Ms. Neal, Mr. Amadei, and Mr. Voisin, okay? And I did not attend the meeting, but I do not believe that that committee came up with anything new than that was given to us by the attorneys that handle this particular situation. So for us to say, or to be heard here, that they came up with some new ideas is false. And you should retract that, Mr. Harding. And again, I'd like Mr. Trosclair to answer why he's putting this on here tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Babbitt. Mr. Harding.
Third time. It's kind of difficult to explain how we went about this without revealing a whole bunch. And I think it was flat out wrong. Whether you can say, you can call out 100 people that was on that task force. To start off with it, I feel, me personally, that's why we are here right now. I feel personally, again, that we could have settled this without all of this confusion and let us handle our employee. And if there was to be any money spent, any money lost by Terrebonne Parish by this, remember what I said. If someone does another person wrong here, I think that person should be actually handled with. And if I can legally say, the investigation that we spent a lot of money for with came back, what was the recommendation? We all know what the recommendation was. But when the task force came out, it seemed as if one person is only being handled here, flat out. One person is being handled with, and with several people were being involved. It started out with one person against another person. And I can't figure out how 25 other people get involved with this. And then we bring in all the staff we're trying to isolate one person. I can't figure out if you start off with one person and another person, and you end up with several other people in here. I think that's wrong. I think that's flat out wrong. If the police stop me for speeding, I want them to give me a speeding ticket. But don't add a bunch of other tickets on me before I get to the jail. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Ms. Neal.
Yes, sir. I just want to caution, I know that there's some passionate people up on this council. I just want to caution you to please be careful of the things that we say, to make sure that things that were in executive session don't get accidentally put out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Neal. Mr. Amity.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And again, this is my third time and I'll be done. But the investigation was about one person. The interviews are part of an investigation, and that's how many other people got included. And I think the investigators saw through the investigation that there were some things that they can recommend because of their specialties that could help us out going forward. And I think that's what they did, and that's why this task force was created. And again, I would just ask everybody to vote to let this task force continue the work that it's doing, because the tasks that are left to be done are very simple. They're not controversial. They're easy, and they're going to help everybody involved. There's some things that we've been wanting to work out, and I think that those recommendations will bring us to a point. It'll make things better for our council staff. It'll make things better for administration. I mean, I don't see where it's wrong. So with that, thank you again, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Amity. Mr. Babbitt?
Yep, my third and last time also. The process of executive session, we go in the back to discuss a particular item, and we have some relatively heated debates sometime in the back, but we come out with a conclusion. And that conclusion that night was to come out here, and the next agenda item was to approve it. And we approved it unanimously. Now, all of a sudden, because some people don't think it is right, we want to now change that. Why do we not have an opportunity to change it at that particular time? I think that's what the whole idea of an executive session is, to work it out there. And if the majority of the people in executive session would have not felt that this was the right place to go, then why did you come out here and vote unanimously to approve it?
Thank you, Mr. Babbitt. Mr. Hamner?
I know that everybody on this task force is of good character and integrity and are doing the job that they were assigned to do. And listening to the speakers speak, those of you that spoke, I'm realizing that y'all may know a little bit more about the what's going on than I do. I voted, when was it, the last week or so, to go into executive session, thinking that I would get updated and learn what the task force was doing. But instead it was voted down. So I'm still in the dark. And I don't, y'all talk about going into executive session to hash things out for personnel matters, but we didn't get that opportunity to do that because we didn't have the sufficient votes to do it. I'm confused with some of y'all's reasonings and on both sides, so it's perplexing to me. I would have liked to have had that executive session to get updated, and we maybe would have come out and the matter would have been settled there without any changes. I don't know, but we didn't get that opportunity to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hamner. Mr. Champagne?
Mr. Hammond, I think at the time that we were supposed to, the request to go back into executive session at that time was to discuss the authority of the task force and not to get an update. So that was the reason that many of us voted against. Yeah, so. But that was not what we were talking about. It wasn't on the agenda, I guess.
Mr. Hamner? Mr. Chauvin?
Champagne.
Champagne, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you, Mr. Champagne. Seeing no further lights, just if you could, Ms. Neal, could you refresh our memory as to how the investigation was initiated?
I don't believe that is public information, Mr. Voisin.
Okay, I wasn't sure, that's why I wanted to ask the question.
Yes, sir.
So it's not public as to how it was initiated, even
Yes.
though it wasn't initiated in executive session?
Correct.
Thank you, ma'am. Seeing no further lights, members vote your machines. 5-4, motion passes. 6, a motion to approve in accordance with Terrebonne Parish Personnel Manual Section 212C, the request by the council staff employee who was subject to the investigation resulting in findings presented to the council at the executive session on July 14th, 2025, that the August 15th, 2025 letter from the Employee Relations Focus Team be deleted and removed from their personnel file. Moved by Mr. Trosclair, second by Mr. Harding. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Ms. Chauvin?
One of the things that I wanted to make clear is that considering what was said in executive session on the June 9th, the letter needs to remain in the employee's file. So I don't support this motion at all.
Thank you, Ms. Chauvin. Seeing no further lights, members vote your machines. 5-4, motion passes. Motion to adjourn by Mr. Harding, second by Mr. Pledger. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Meeting adjourned.